Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a Saving a Disaster battle playing as the Drakenhof Conclave, going up against Clan Angrund, where they're bringing nearly 2 full stacks against us, and they've got a lot of gyro bombers, which we've got some flying units, but they're not faster than them, and they're just going to go straight over to our Graveguard and drop a massive number of bombs on them, and there's not really much protection for that. There's nowhere for us to hide, we're unable to withdraw from the battlefield, and so we've just got to overcome these challenges. In fact, I'd say that this battle would actually be significantly easier for us if we didn't have any melee infantry, just because it's a massive weakness in our army. They can eliminate Mannfred by just taking out these infantry, by causing the army losses. Everything's on the max battle difficulty. Let's jump in here and see what we can do. Now, I reckon what we should do at the beginning is don't immediately cast damage dealing spells, because we don't want them to advance straight away. Instead, maybe pop down some summons on them and get them to damage themselves using these abilities here, the powder kegs and also the iron drakes, especially if you pop it down in the middle of their units, because they'll wait about 2 minutes before advancing. Now, if we get rid of their artillery, then they'll probably advance straight away. But yeah, I think popping down summons on them right away is going to be really important. Now, another thing that could be really good is getting Mannfred to actually absorb the bombs from the gyro bombers, which is a little bit tricky to do, considering they won't drop a bomb down on a flying unit, unless that flying unit is on the ground. They probably won't drop it down on summons. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But they'll definitely drop it down on Mannfred if he's on the ground. But that being said, if he's on the ground, he's vulnerable to getting shot. So I'm not sure if that's worth it. We're going to keep some units over here, because I reckon they're going to go for, like, send everything over here. And if they send a couple of units over this way, they'll be able to handle it. We want them to stand back as much as possible and just don't engage until we eliminate as many of their high-powered missile units as we possibly can. What I'm hoping. Alright. Let's get in over here and see what we can do. So we got that. That's a really good ability. Alright, if you can take out those Trollhammer torpedoes, that'd be amazing. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to eliminate the grudge thrower straight away. Check for that. Mannfred's got an absolute ton of missile resistance, so I'm not too concerned about him getting shot too much here. Let's see how that goes. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Keep this guy here. Let's see how they go about using some bombs and stuff on that. Hopefully they'll do some friendly fire. Good, that's actually really good that she managed to catch them. Don't use any winds of death or anything just yet, or dragon breaths. Okay, let's pop another one on this one here. They've actually done more damage to their own units than to our summons, so that's, well, our summon's not worth as much. So that's good so far. Keep this one hanging around the back here. And shooting at Mannfred can be really handy. Because yeah, if they do missile or magic damage to themselves, it doesn't cause them to advance on us, which is what we're trying to do here. Not too concerned about their melee infantry, because our infantry should be able to hold out reasonably well against their infantry. I'm really not too concerned about that. Make sure they're as far back as possible. But yeah, it's their iron drakes and all that kind of shit that's going to be a big problem. This is good. Alright. Since they're going to start advancing any moment from now, this is a great opportunity to use a Wind of Death right now. Want to pop that down for the extra spell intensity, so that it actually does a decent amount of damage against dwarves. Alright, now would be a good time as well to get rid of the artillery, since, like I said, they're going to advance anyway. Good, we got rid of that one just in good timing, because I need you to now focus on the gyro bombers over here. Good job there. Okay. Right, now what I want to do is pop down a summon here in the hope of maybe absorbing as much of their bombs as we possibly can. Hopefully. Now, there's nothing stopping us from using a breath attack as long as he actually does it. Sometimes if he's getting attacked too heavily, he'll just get disrupted. I can't say that was fantastic. Pop down another one here. Got those ones summons as well. fair bit of bombs being used. Mannfred's in not the greatest shape ever, but he's got healing. Let them absorb that damage. Okay, so you start coming back a little bit. I was going to use him to try to hold back the enemy, but everything seems okay at the moment. Here's our last summon. I think they did pretty well. No, don't you just fight that. That's a bad idea. Need to stop these artillery from getting to our front line. That would be a disaster if they got there. Okay, I think we need to slow them down or else he's going to be in big trouble. Okay, Mannfred needs some time to heal. And hopefully not get attacked by flaming attacks, which would slow down our regen. Okay, so that one there has been knocked off the artillery. Good, move on to the organ gun there. Good. Absorb those attacks, because anything that's going to be super dangerous to them, if we can neutralize it, that is a big win for us. Yeah, of course they're going to shoot at him. Keep the zombies back here. Alright, let's see if we can get a decent wind of death in. It's not fantastic, but they're just not blobbed up anywhere. But yeah, taking out their artillery like this, that's really good. Because they're a huge threat to our infantry. Bounce power is still in their favor, but we've traded really well against them so far. Definitely going to need a invocation of Nehek on him.
With haste. Your desire.
Okay, that's it. You keep that up. Shots. I don't think landing here with Mannfred's a good idea. I'll just make him more of a sitting duck. This is a bit of a problem here because they're not going to be capable of dealing with this. Have they dropped their bombs? They've dropped up some of their bombs. I'm going to try to get them around over here because that looks like it's going to go tits up real quick over there. I was hoping they would just ignore him, but they didn't. Good. They're going to hit a lot of their own units with that. That's great. Bring him over here. That's it. If you could chase after them, that might work out alright. Go back over that way. Maybe that might work. They just bring a few melee infantry over here. That is not a problem whatsoever. Let that happen. Don't worry about using the fireball. Fucking waste of time. This is all looking really good there. Definitely liking that. Okay, I want her to get up and try to help take out these gyro bombers here. Because eventually they're going to turn around and... Oh god, we need to get back. Draw them in a little bit more. Oh god. Unfortunately, I can't withdraw this guy up from the battlefield. At least we got the attention there. Yeah, they've got a lot of guys trying to shoot at him. Out of summons with Mannfred. Let's see anything else I can do. They just keep those summons coming. Try to get out of there. He's got passive regen. Alright, might be a good idea to start bringing our infantry up now. We really want to avoid getting into blobs, but it looks like we've absorbed the majority of their attacks to begin with here. Oh, I should have used this first. So what we want to do, just try to make sure that the zombies are the ones taking the damage, not the grave guard. It. He's doing okay over there, checking out the artillery. Mannfred still needs to just try to absorb as much of the attacks as possible. We try to get around this army to get at their missile units. You just got to here to keep popping down them summons. No need. And the heck. Get around over here. Get in there. Go around that way. Just try to avoid big blobs. It's definitely not good for us. Good, looks like we took out a couple of their units there. You move over this way. This guy's starting to suffer a fair bit of damage actually. Move it. Just get the vampire to do it. She's much better at it, it seems. Oh, Mannfred's in. Just keep absorbing it, Mannfred. Okay, this over here looks pretty good. Oh, blob. Get him in on this. Don't worry about the Slayers. Those are zombies. This one here is suffering a lot of damage. Move it back. Send some reserves in. Try to preserve the integrity of the army as best as we can. Can't really justify using any summons right now. I don't think it's a good idea. Sorry, not summons. Breath attacks. I meant to say. Okay, good. We're starting to overrun them here. Oh god, Mannfred's in shit shape. Need to heal him. Oh god, get that guy out of there. Alright, get the cavalry out. Get them over here. That's it. Okay, let's pop another one of these down. Good, we've got the Iron Drakes in melee here. That's great. Really, really good. This one's suffering a fair bit of damage. Get him out of there. Okay, we might actually be able to get through this without any units getting wiped out. Because a lot of their units are, like, the really dangerous units have actually been eliminated. Get them in over there now. And where are you? Yeah, you just keep chasing after them. That's what it is. Okay, increase your attack damage or attack rate. Good, all the Iron Drakes, anything with like really high damage output appears to have been neutralized. Those are just zombies, that's okay. Alright. So this one here is suffering a little bit because of the gyro bombers. They're really aiming for it. And there's the army losses. Good. Every unit survives. But yeah, I can see why you had a hard time with this one. Yeah, I can see. It's not an easy fight, for sure. Alright, now what we want to do is try to revive as many units that got killed as possible. So get all of our infantry, or really get everyone together. I know there's still a few Slayers here that need to be dealt with. But we want to use the Mortis Engine and also the Corpse Cart to help boost healing so that we can, you know, get as much of it as we possibly can. Before the battle's over. As for the cavalry, it might be a good idea to actually get them to run down as many units as possible, since our infantry are not going to be fast enough to do it. Means they won't get as much healing, but that's okay. They're not in horrendous shape. Where is he? Yep, right in the middle there. Start getting those passive healing in. What happened there? That something did a lot of damage. Oh, maybe it was this thing. Yeah, get in over there. So, yeah, a whole bunch of different heal abilities. Really handy. And what we could potentially do as well is just try to push some of these like Iron Breakers or whatever's really slow from actually leaving the battlefield so that we can keep healing. Because we've actually got like an unlimited pool of magic. And while it's not possible for us to heal to full, we want to try to get as much of our healing done as we possibly can. Alright, so I think it's best to use single cast. Like overcast will hit more units, but you also run the risk of miscasting. Alright, we'll do the first one with an overcast. Should be fine. This doesn't do anything for heal abilities. They're not affected by spell intensity. Okay, so now I'll just do the best I can to try to heal his army so that we're in the best shape that we possibly can. This is the big advantage to playing as a vampire count, so that you can heal your army after the battle's essentially over. So yeah, as you can see, healed as much as I could. I've been trying to keep this one dude here alive as long as I possibly could, but yeah, there it is. And we got ourselves a close victory. So, everything considered, I think the results are pretty damn good. I mean, we obviously were a lot more damaged than this at one point, but that's the vampire's ability to heal. But yeah, the dwarves came at us so aggressively, but luckily all of their missile units were, well, they're really damaging one like the Iron Drakes. They were too busy burning zombies to realize that the real threat was the Grave Guard. And once the Grave Guard were in there, like, they fight really well. But yeah, if the Iron Drakes had shot at them, holy moly, one shot would have wiped them out. And the fact that the gyro bombers didn't really get a whole lot of chance to bomb them was also really bloody good for us. So we got quite lucky with that, and also I was very much trying to make sure that happened, but a little bit of luck helps along the way. So since your army's in decent shape, why don't we go for the money there, and yeah, you probably won't get any healing over the end turn based on this, but I'm not sure. Ooh, Valiant Defeat. It's actually impossible because you don't have anything to work with here. Like, you need a spellcaster or something. You just got nothing to work with. Because you got to get rid of this wizard, and nothing is going to work to get rid of it. But what we'll do here is I'll save it and send it back to him. If he wants to try and fight this, then he can give it a shot. It may seem like it's a fairly easy fight because it's Skaven, but the problem here is that you've got nothing to deal with this guy, and the Warp Lightnings are just going to absolutely obliterate you. So, yeah, we'll leave it there because it's just saved because it was on Legendary difficulty. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, hopefully you learned something from it. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.